Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third episode of our Women in Leadership podcast. My name is Akimi Jones, and to my right, I have.
Hello, everyone. I'm Joy Brunson in Sibuga, and I am happy to be here and glad you're here.
We are happy you're here. What are we talking about today? Today, we are talking about sponsorship versus mentorship. Many leaders talk about the importance of mentors. There's another powerful relationship that can influence career growth, and that is sponsorship. So today we're exploring the difference between mentorship and sponsorship and why both matter in leadership journeys. So, Joy.
Yeah.
When you hear the words mentor and sponsor, what do they mean to you? Not the definition of them, but just what do they mean to you?
To me.
Yes, what do they mean?
Okay. Well, I think this is a good topic because I think mentorship is one of these like buzzwords.
It is.
That people think they know what it means or what should happen, but they don't really know. So to me, mentorship is someone who is supportive, someone who listens, someone who guides. I would say everyone should have multiple mentors because there's in all different like facets of your life. Having individuals that are there to support and guide and give advice and listen and feedback and all that. So that's a mentor. To me, sponsorship is like the next level. Sponsorship opens doors and provides opportunities. So if this is something I want to learn more about, or my career path, or even as a parent, or just whatever I want to do, someone who provides sponsorship will make sure I'm in the room, make sure I'm noticed in the room, or provide opportunities, open those doors for me to be there versus just giving advice and feedback. So a sponsor can launch you 10 years easily, just based on their connections, based on what they know. They can launch you far ahead with opportunities. So that's what I think about. What about you?
I think of a sponsor as a leadership co-signer.
Oh, a whole term. Were you waiting to spit that out, or did it just roll out?
No, that's what I think of it. You gave the elongated definition of what you think. Mine's is a short version. I think a sponsor is like a leader co-signer, right? It's okay. I see you, mini leader. I see what you're putting down, and I'm with it. I think I want to take you along for a journey. And if someone asks me about your character or your abilities or what your interests are, I will show up for you in those spaces, right? I will help clear the room. Now, how you show up is up to you. But I will make sure that when I have the ability to advocate on your behalf, I will do so. I think one of the things that always sticks with me as being a leader, respectfully, it's not what people say when you are in the room. It is 1,000,000% what people say when you are not in the room. And your sponsors are a way of getting your voice, your presence, your character, your interest, your vision in the room. They help get you in the space so that you can do whatever it is your heart's desire to do, in whatever space that is. And then a mentor to me is a teacher, right? It is a teacher that helps me see my blind spots as a leader. If it's a leadership mentor, like Joy said, you can have many mentors. I do. I have leadership mentors. I have parenting mentors. I have health mentors. I have business mentor. I have, excuse me, as you can tell, I'm a little raspy. I have spiritual mentors. So you can have, there's no limit to how many of either you can have. You always just want to be intentional. Intentional, making sure that you're in alignment, they're in alignment. It's kind of like looking for a pair of jeans, right? You have to find one that fits.
See, that's So what I was thinking just now is, like, I had a conversation with a friend yesterday. Was that yesterday? I think it was yesterday. My days run together, trust me. I think it was yesterday, and that what sparked for me is we were talking about, in your circle, your village, you never want to be the most accomplished person,
the smartest one in the room,
or be the smartest one, because that means that you are pulling everybody else along with you,
and you're pouring out to everyone else, and no one's pouring into you,
right? And so you always want to be somewhere in the middle, so that you have people that pour into you, and then you also have the opportunity to give back. So this topic is very timely on the differences between sponsorship and mentorship, because you want to be in a place where you are also getting that feedback and getting, I'm trying to think of how to say it in, my typical long winded
we like your long
way of doing it, but it's just being able to make sure that you have all of those opportunities, you have all of that feedback, and that you're also being challenged and being pulled at the same time. But that also goes probably off topic, but goes into just how intentional you really need to be about the people that are around you, and making sure that they are vital to where you're going, not to where you've been.
That part. That they are, and mentors, it's not always going to be comfortable, right? Actually, a good mentor, respectfully, is supposed to make you uncomfortable.
If
they're supposed to challenge you. If you are comfortable, then respectfully, what she said. It's not a mentor. It's someone that should be able to sit down with you based on your communication style, right? Find one that you can level set with well, and that you can receive good feedback from. You can be receptive, but they're supposed to challenge you. They're supposed to put you in those stretch moments. They're supposed to ask you to reflect on things that you don't want to reflect on, and ask questions about things that you don't want to ask, so that you can grow. There is discomfort and growth, but it is necessary discomfort. What do they say? Pressure makes diamonds, and your mentor can help graft you into a good diamond. So, one of the things I've noticed is that in really all of the companies I have worked for, probably with the exception of RI, sponsorship is not a term. Mentorship is the big one. And so why do you think that mentorship is more of the buzzword and sponsorship is more of a, if you know kind of
thing? Because I think mentorship is easier to do. Mentorship is easier to get. Just being real, I think sponsorship can sometimes be very threatening, depending on the person.
Like, you think from like competition?
Like
if I open a door for you, you're trying to come for my space?
Oh, okay.
No, I'm saying, is that what we mean when we say competition? Like,
depending on the organization, or depending on the industry, because basically what you're doing as a sponsor, you are bringing in individuals into your space, into your company space, and into your industry space. So in essence, you are in fact creating, I don't know if I would say competition, but you are moving opportunities to other people.
You're filtering opportunities.
You're filtering opportunities, and your goal is actually to move out of becoming the filter, where individuals will then be able to create their own and bring their own opportunities. But that also takes trust.
Yep.
And that also takes a lot of relationship building to get to that point. So I think mentorship is just easier to do. It's less threatening. You can give someone advice. We love giving advice, and just kind of move on with it.
Right.
I think especially for women, finding a good sponsor and understanding that concept, understanding what it means, understanding that you need to go to the next level past that advice. I don't think that is something that we talk about very often. I don't think it's something that happens very often. You kind of have to find that circle in order to be able to kind of get into it. It is not something that just naturally happens. So I feel like it's almost this kind of reserve pocket that's out there.
It sounds like they would need to be specifically for sponsorship. I mean, both require the individual that's in either the mentorship role or the sponsorship role to be confident in who they are, sound, and at a place and space where they are ready to provide opportunities for others. So if you are an individual that's listening, you're like, I think I'm interested in being a sponsor for someone. Take some self-reflective moments and see where you are and how providing opportunities for others in spaces that you will share with those individuals respectfully makes you feel. Right? Do you when you say, someone might not come to me for this opportunity any longer. They may come to Joy because she has now been sponsored. And someone's like, let's see what Joy brings to the table with this. If you have a visceral reaction of, I'm missing out on an opportunity, not quite ready to be a sponsor, right? But that is something that you need to acknowledge and probably work through with a mentor. See what I did there? See what I did there?
I knew it was coming.
See what I did there?
I knew it was coming. So. I feel like it's when I think of the broader like picture of this, I also think of like the culture that we're in. It is very cutthroat. It's very I'm gonna step on you to get to my next level.
Right.
And
it doesn't have to be that way.
It doesn't have to be that way. We there's enough for everyone.
Very much.
And then I also think it's important to talk about the men in this space too that could also provide sponsorship.
I've had a lot of great men. I've had a lot of great men mentors and men sponsors within this organization as well as others that I have worked with. So shout out to our male allies, our counterparts, and those that create spaces in places where we might not normally have that advocacy. So we know this is a Women in Leadership podcast, but it is not just for women. We all can be allies for each other, dependent upon the space and place. And so, one of the nuggets that I'm hoping folks are getting from this today is to think about, where could I be a gentle ally, or who could I potentially be a sponsor for? Or it doesn't always have to be so formal, right? Sometimes when you're working with your peers, or when you're working on a project or something, your leader or someone may say, we need someone that's good at X, Y, Z. If you just so happen to know someone in the company is like, oh, I know who can do this really, really well, pull them forward, right? Exactly. If you believe that they can do the job really, really well, and that they can show up and show out, and this is an opportunity for them, pull them forward, right? One, karma is always a good thing, right? And so it'll always be paid forward in some way that usually you don't expect. But also, little do you know, you're also creating allies for yourself. You are, in essence, creating a network around you as well. So it's something to be said about pulling people forward, even if you're not in a leadership role just yet. So,
and I like to think that as one person, I don't need to know how to do it all in order to have worth. Like I have worth in my little box here. Like this is what I do. This is what I do well. And I am happy to be a resource for people who are coming to me to be like, oh, I've got that person or this person, or can I just elevate someone into a space to just show off what they can do? And then maybe others will get like ideas of, oh, well, I could use that for this or use that for that. So it's about having a good network of skills.
Yes.
And giving people the opportunity. Like I could do something, but I will never be able to do it as well as somebody that does that every day. And quite honest, I've got enough to do. Right. So come on forward. Right. Show what you can do. And it becomes this nice little like ecosystem.
Synergy. You have great synergy. Yeah. When you do that, because respectfully, I don't want to be every tool in the toolbox, and also factually, I can't be every tool in my toolbox. So being able to diversify your toolbox.
Well, can you imagine what kind of house you would build
if it would not be a sturdy one. I can't be the screwdriver and the nail. That's just doesn't work that way. Can't be the screwdriver and the hammer. So let's focus on mentorship here for a moment. What makes a mentorship relationship meaningful or impactful? And I'll actually take this one first because I love mentors. And some of the best.
Being a mentor or having a mentor?
I'm talking about having a mentor.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I love being a mentor as well, but that's a different perspective. So, in having a mentor, what makes it most impactful for me is having a real human as my mentor. Don't sugarcoat. Give it to me straight. Mm-hmm. And I remember when I was in a leadership transition and I was frustrated. I was very frustrated. And I went to my mentor and I said, this is what's happening and I'm very frustrated with it. And she let me rant. She let me rant. And then they calmly said, so Akini, you are growing into a space. It is not meant to be easy. It is not going to be comfortable. And then respectfully, if it is either of those, then that is not growth. Right? You can't want to go somewhere and develop and expect it to tap into the skills that you've already mastered. Yeah. That's not growth. Yeah. You can evolve the skills you have. That's also can be uncomfortable. And I remember I looked at her and I was like,
Sad face.
It wasn't a sad face. I was frustrated.
Sour face.
Oh yes, I was sour. I was frustrated because I was like, oh, like I'm picking up what you're putting down and I just want you to understand I don't like it. And she was like, that's okay. It's okay not to like it. I'm not saying you always have to like it. You don't have to like discomfort, but you have to understand it. It's purposeful discomfort. You can't say, I want to grow into this space. I want to grow in this area and expect it to be a cakewalk. Whenever you learn anything new, there's a learning curve that comes with it. And if you sit back, folks, and you think about anything that you tried to learn that was new, never easy. You never get it. It's rare. We do have some out there, but it's rare that you get it on the first try, right? It's once you finally start getting your feet wet, you fall down a couple of times, you're like, okay, I got it. Oh, okay, it's not that bad. You remember, it's almost like when you're learning something new, you remember what it feels like to learn something new. It sounds weird to say that, but it's very true. Because sometimes we go periods. I think learning is just like anything else. It ebbs and flows.
Learn, harvest.
Right. Right. Again.
Go back to harvest. Learn, harvest.
And so when you're in that learning phase, you're like, oh man, I'm happy to do something new. I have to set aside a certain amount of time. I have to go to my mentor and answer questions. And so I always appreciate a mentor that is willing to tell me like it is. However, that also blends well with my personality because I am a tell it like it is individual. So her and I married very, very well. And when I had my low moments, even though she gave it to me straight, she was also very empathetic and she was transparent about her own experiences. It just married really, really well. And so that's what I appreciate. Someone that's just willing to be honest with me. Yeah. Please don't lie to me because I'm coming to you as like, I'm hoping you have my best interest at heart. And I saw that. I see that with all of my mentors. But that is what I think about. What about you, Joy?
So I have a lot of mentors and the mentors, I have men and women mentors. I have mentors of all, they're very diverse and that's really what, like age, just gender, ethnicity, just across the board. and some I've had for a really long time, and others are a little bit newer. And so it just depends on kind of what area of my life I feel like I'm having a struggle with. And that's the person that I tap. Like, I don't have one for everything. I tap the one that I need.
Pull from your roster, pull them off the bench.
But for me, I have to sit back and watch someone first. I have to see their product first. I if I just meet you, you're not going to be a mentor of mine because you haven't proved yourself.
That part.
I am very, very selective of who is in my network, and so you have to prove that you know what you are talking about. A couple of mentors that are coming to mind. I have one that I go to for all things school and all things parenting. All things school, all things parenting. Since my oldest was in kindergarten and we had our first parent-teacher conference, and it did not go well.
Oh no.
And she has been that mentor. But prior to that, I actually met her when I was pregnant with my oldest. And we had like years of conversations, and I see how her children are and how she parented, and like it was years. And then when I got to a point where I was stuck, I was like, that's who I need to talk to. And so since then, it's been things going well, things not going well. I'm like, what do I do? Read this email, or and she's just always there with recommendations and direction and guidance, and she's always been so spot on with things. But it took 6 years
to get to the point where I think I need to tap. I think
I need to tap right now. I think I need to start asking those questions. So that is what's really important for me with mentors. I need them to. The biggest thing is that I need to see if your life is like in chaos and a mess and all of that. That's not exactly what I need. So I'm not gonna know. But I need to be able to see exactly what you are working with.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, yes, like that's the area that I need to learn. So there's been a couple of new people in my life in the last couple of years. We just talked about one, and I was like, there are areas that these people do really well that I don't. I need to learn.
I want to learn how to do that. Teach me, Sensei.
I want to learn how to do that. But I will say one thing that you said about having your best interest at heart. That's actually how I got to RI, because it felt like I was starting to outgrow everything prior to RI. And so one of the things is understanding that when you are outgrowing a person, or when you are outgrowing a situation, when that person, and it's not a bad thing, or it's seasons. Not it's seasons. Yes, seasons. When they are when you've outgrown them, and that's as a mentor. I love being a mentor. As a mentor, that is an awesome place to be when someone outgrows you.
Yep, job well done.
And you have all these people like out in the world that are doing really, really well. Like that is the best part of mentorship. But that mentor should also be able to know when that person has outgrown them.
Yes.
And that's sponsorship. Moving that person into like the next space, even if that means leaving.
Yes. It's time for you to go off and
leave the nest.
Leave the nest. And in essence, like she said, that's what you want people to do. You want people to respectfully outgrow you. That doesn't mean loss of relationship. That just means the relationship will now look different. Doesn't mean you won't still ask questions from time to time, but for the most part, hey, I've given you everything in my toolbox. Go forth and prosper. Let me know if you trip up on a tool, but go get sponsored now. And if there's an opportunity for me to sponsor you in places and spaces, please know that I will do that. So your mentor can also become a sponsor, and they're probably actually a really good sponsor because they've seen your growth and development. They've seen where you came from and where you are now. So they can definitely advocate for you in a different way. They can speak more transparently to individuals about, oh yeah, man, I know Joy. Yeah, when she came to me, this is where we are. And she's done so much. Now you would be awesome to have her on your team. She's going to elevate your team and do all of the things, right? And so there is that transition that happens. So the last little thought on mentorship here is it's actually a two-parter. So how can mentorship support someone who is navigating new leadership responsibilities? One. And then how can mentorship support someone who is seasoned in leadership responsibility?
Is that a question for me?
Yes, you can take that one first.
Oh, well, thank you.
As the seasoned.
Am I?
You are. You got a little more seasoning than I do. I'm getting there.
I don't know if I feel like I'm seasoned.
We're always learning.
There's so much to know.
There's still so much to learn. But
I will answer the first question as a mentor, and then I will answer, since I'm seasoned, the second question as the mentee.
Got it.
Okay. So the first question as the mentor, I honestly feel that it is a complete disservice to put someone in a leadership role without having a mentor.
100% agree.
Oftentimes, especially in our healthcare industry, someone gets put into a leadership role because of how well they performed in their previous role. If you've watched a couple of our podcasts, I always go back to what got you here will not get you there. That book was given to me by a mentor, by the way. And because I call it my episode. I had an episode where I felt like I should have transitioned forward and I didn't. And I didn't understand that the skills you have today will not get you to the next level. You have to start developing those skills in order to get to the next level. So oftentimes people are put into positions because they have been with a company a long time, or they're really good in their current role or something like that. Not necessarily for their leadership skills or their abilities for the next role. So I talk a lot about making sure when you're moving into a new position, you need to have a mentor because you will flounder. You will not do well. It will be a hard learning curve. And that mentor can make it a lot easier, and they can also guide you on your way. Just the simple things. An example that I was told about when I was transitioning into a higher role that required travel was simply how to travel.
Yep. How do you travel?
How to travel?
What do you do?
I had never traveled before. I come from like the backwoods of South Carolina. We don't travel. So like, how do you
pack?
How do you pack? How do you book flights?
TSA pre-check? Like, what am I doing?
How do you book flights? What cities do you not go through when it's winter?
Don't go through Detroit.
Versus summer. How do you stay with the same airline and hotel and rental car all the time? Just all of these things were told to me. And it made travel so much easier. These are things that it would have taken me years to learn on my own. It wasn't intuitive. It's just not something you know.
Right.
It's just people have to tell you. So that was, it may sound simple, but it makes
a difference.
It made a huge difference.
And you should ask if someone comes to you and says, hey, we want to move you into this role, or we think you'd be great for this, if the individuals excuse me, that are asking on their own do not say, and we're going to have you sit with a mentor or have this individual do this with you for XYZ frequency, you as the person being requested to do these additional things can say, that sounds great. I recognize though that this will be a learning curve for me. Is there someone that can mentor me, a brain that I can pick that can at least help get me off to a good start and that I can check in with for whatever amount of frequency? Yep. You have the right to advocate for yourself and ask those things. And like Joyce said, you would be doing yourself a disservice not to. It is not weakness to be like, hey, thank you, but I do need some help with this.
Yes, because when I showed up on that first trip with a huge check bag and everybody else has their carry-ons and they're like,
what are you doing?
What do you mean we've got to wait?
We got to wait for you? Who's the newbie? Who's the new girl? We got to get her together.
That is exactly what happened. I packed everything, and they're like,
no, baby, we don't do that. That's,
no. And your luggage gets lost. You get there, you don't have it. Like there were just so many things, but it took me showing up with this massive suitcase on the first trip for everybody to be like, all right, I'm going to sit you down and this is how we're going to do it.
Cute. This is, come here, underlings. Have the seat. Let's talk about this. This can't happen again. Let me explain why.
And trust me, no more check bags.
She doesn't check a bag, y'all.
I don't check bags. Like
she won't do
it.
Introduce the minimalist lifestyle. It came into existence. I can downsize everything.
Everything. Yes. That's a whole nother
episode.
A whole nother episode of my now minimalism tendencies. But I'm gonna go into season leader as a mentee. So I think I will preface this with Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So if you haven't, or if you don't know about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, this takes me all the way back to my undergrad psychology degree, all the way back. So there's a number of needs that Maslow talks about, and it's in a pyramid. And on the bottom is your basic needs. You have to have your basic needs met first. And those basic needs are food, shelter, housing, all of those types of things. The second one is safety. The third one is belonging. And then on the top is like self-actualization. So he talks about how you have to go through all of these steps in order to get to self-actualization. So if you don't have food, you're not going to be worried about whether you fit in or not.
Nope. I mean, you're hungry.
You're hungry. So you're going to be on the bottom. And of course, the bottom of a pyramid, the biggest part of it is at the bottom. So it's how you step yourself up basically through your needs. And so that to me is kind of like leadership. Even if you're a seasoned leader, you get to the top of this like self-actualization. You've made it, which I call harvest. You're up there, like it's great. You have done all the skills and you're there. And then for me as a seasoned leader, I harvest for a while and then I go, and then what?
And then what?
And then what drops you back down to starting over and building more skills. In transparency, I'm now looking at building skills like related to boards and being a member of a board. I've never been a member of a board outside of my association. And that's a whole different skill of networking and all this that I don't really have. And so I'm now intentionally dropping myself back down in order to learn another skill. That also requires different mentors, different people that I now have to bring into my circle. I wouldn't need someone to teach me how to be on a board or to network or whatever before. I wasn't interested. I wasn't doing that. But now, since that's the direction I'm about to go in, now I have to add different mentors. I have to learn different skills. So I'm dropping myself back down to the bottom of this hierarchy of needs that I will then have to build up again. So even seasoned leaders, we don't just get there and stay there. It's continuing to grow and expand your skill sets and your networks and all of the things.
I agree with that. How do individuals, emerging leaders, or just really humans in general, this is just about people looking for support. How do we approach someone respectfully and in the best way, most tactful way, when we are seeking mentorship? How do we do that well? For me,
I was gonna say you should answer that.
I was about to say
you do that well.
I ask. I go to the individual. One, I have relationships. So let's rewind. I do have relationship. Even if it's someone that I do not know, I never. Let me give a scenario because I think I need to give a scenario to help with this. So I most recently received a certification through Training Industries, and one of the higher up individuals within Training Industries, I was looking over her bio. I was very impressed with her bio. She came and spoke to my cohort. I was very interested in the things that she had to say, and I was like, oh yeah, she's the lady. She's the lady I need to talk to. How do I get in with this lady who doesn't know me from Adam or Eve? She knows nothing about me. So I was very tactful in making sure that when she came to speak to our group, that she knew who I was. So I was participatory. Hi, this is who I am. This is what I'm interested in. So she can now place a name with a face. After she spoke to our cohort, I reached out to her and I said, thank you so much for sharing the information that you shared. I saw that you have this IO degree that I'm just very interested in and how it sort of got you to where you are based on some of the things that I have. Is that something I need to do? Is it something I don't need to do? I said, I'm also interested in doing XYZ, and you seem like the person. You seem like the perfect person to ask those questions to. She followed up immediately and was like, hey, I would love to have a conversation with you about these things. I will put some time on my calendar. And while I'm thinking about it, I'd love for you to come back to our Training Industries and actually be a guest speaker. So apparently she also saw something in me that she was like, hey, I was going to connect with you anyways. So the big thing is, don't be scared to reach out to strangers. It can feel uncomfortable because people you don't know. Find what connects you. Even if it's just a, hey, I know you don't know me. I read through your profile online. I am interested in learning more. Would you be willing to have a conversation with me? It can be something very simple. Go ahead.
So I will. So there are a couple things about that you did well.
Okay.
And I will say that as a person who gets reached out to. So here's a couple do's and don'ts.
Do's and don'ts.
Do always reach out right after. Flattery will get you everywhere. Everywhere. So you flattered her. And that also showed that you were listening. You paid attention to what she had to say.
Took notes.
You took notes. You digested it. You were very specific, which shows that you paid attention.
Yes.
And then you were also very intentional about what you asked for. Individuals in these types of places want to give information. They want to provide their expertise to the next generation. Like we don't want to keep it.
No, we don't.
We want to give it. So those are the things that you did well. Promptness, flattery, being very specific about what you liked, very specific about what you want. All do's. Don'ts. Follow up extremely late. Being very vague.
Will you be my mentor? Hey, I love you speaking to us. I'd love to have you as a mentor.
No.
Not that they don't want to be a mentor, but you have to make it easy for them. So if I get an email or a phone call or something that says, "Hey, can you be my mentor?" I'd love to, but now we kind of have to have this back and forth of, okay, well, would you like me to mentor you in? It's a whole lot easier if you come in with what you want.
Well, it shows that you're not ready.
Yes.
So, and if when I get those, it shows me that the person is not ready. Mm-hmm. And it also shows that I'm going to be doing the work.
Yes. I have to pull it out of you.
And as a mentor, I shouldn't be doing the work. Mm-hmm. You should be coming to me with what you want, mm-hmm. and I should be giving that to you. Mm-hmm. I shouldn't have to figure out what you want, what you need, and then provide it to you. Right. That's too many things.
Yes.
So in the don'ts category, not really knowing what you want, not really knowing what you need, not being very specific, mm-hmm. puts up red flags that then the mentor is going to, like, the expectation is that I have to figure that out for you. Mm-hmm. And that's not a mentor. You're getting into executive coach, mm-hmm. or leadership
coaching,
coach,
or counseling. That's different
at that point. And mm-hmm. that's a completely different, mm-hmm. a completely different approach, a completely different thing. Mm-hmm. If you need assistance actually figuring out where you want to go, mm-hmm. it's we're now over here, and mm-hmm. that's not a mentor.
That's more self-discovery, type conversations. Not bad, but not mentorship.
Not a mentor. And so, and then reaching out in that way, then it starts to create, well, I would actually probably refer that mm-hmm. person to a coach.
Yes, this is someone that will work for you. Let me know how it goes.
Exactly. And then once you figure that out and you know what you need from me,
I'll be here.
I am more than happy to provide that. But those are like the differences.
Should individuals approach sponsorship the same way? If you're interested in someone being your sponsor, how do you have those conversations?
So sponsorship. Did I answer this? Mm-hmm. Me? Yeah, okay. Sponsorship, because I'm curious to know what you think about this one, because I feel like there's something in there. Okay. So sponsorship is very similar to mentorship, mm-hmm. in that you have to know yourself. Mm-hmm. So you have to know what you're good at. Mm-hmm. You have to know what space you want to be in, mm-hmm. and you have to know where you want to go. Mm-hmm. And so if I'm opening doors, or if there's opportunities, because and examples of opportunities are when I get an email that says, we need you to, are you interested in speaking mm-hmm. for this group? Or mm-hmm. are you interested in doing this at this time? One, I look at, is it in my wheelhouse? Mm-hmm. And two,
do I have the bandwidth?
Mm-hmm. And three, if I'm even available, mm-hmm. do I have, like, oftentimes there's already things on my calendar, mm-hmm. and I can't do everything. Mm-hmm. And so in those moments, it's like, all right, who fits this the best? I can't have like a one person mm-hmm. collect all who's mm-hmm. going to be building everything from scratch.
Got a roster.
Have a roster. Mm-hmm. So who fits into this? That is who I will send it to. Mm-hmm. So I think going back to that, every tool in the toolbox matters. Mm-hmm. You have to know which one you are. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If you are going to be ready for sponsorship,
that part,
and for someone to open the door. If you don't know which one you are yet,
don't ask.
No, because if I say I'm going to send this person, mm-hmm. that at that point, mm-hmm. that is an extension of myself.
Yes.
And so
don't have me out here looking wild. We'll use recovery language. Have me out here looking wild and fancy free. Yes. Okay? Keep it tight. Keep it right.
Because that's the relationship. Because either if I do it or if I have someone to do it, that person will then come back to me again, and that's what I want. Because the next time, maybe I'll have the opportunity to do it, maybe I'll have the time to do it, or maybe I won't, and I can pass it again. But if I don't pass, if I don't deliver in some type of way, that person is not going to come back to me. And so if someone is not clear on who they are, what they can do, what they're good at, what they're looking for, they don't become a person on that roster, on my roster.
So the differences, the key differences I see here as we get ready to wrap up, between being prepared and ready to request a mentor versus being prepared and ready to request sponsorship. Mentorship is, I don't know it, I need to learn it, can you help me? Sponsorship is, I got it, can you give me the platform and the opportunity to prove it? Can you give me the opportunity to demonstrate my mastery so others can see my mastery and then open doors? So respectfully, if you want to save face, do not go to someone that you want to be a sponsor for you if you are not confident that you can deliver. Because in essence, and because we're a mental health organization and we have a lot of licensed clinical, nursing, peer support specialists, everyone will understand this as far as before you can practice on your own, you tend to have some level of supervision, right? You want to make sure that you are ready to practice on your own before you request sponsorship. Because in essence, what I'm doing is I am co-signing. Yes, I am sending this person on behalf of me. They're going to do just as good as me, if not better. I have no worries. And so where you deliver is going to come back to me, and that determines whether or not I will ever sponsor you again. And respectfully, the sponsor doesn't always owe you an explanation of whether or not they're going to call on you again. Some sponsors are like, yep, nope, never do that again. And you'll never hear from them again. Some of them just sort of, they sort of fade out. You reach out to them, you never hear from them again. Sponsors should not do that. I think a good sponsor should provide the feedback, right? A good sponsor should be like, hey, so you did it. I appreciate your eagerness and willingness. Unfortunately, I'm not able to call on you again for X, Y, Z reason. That's information that you take back to your mentor or whomever, and you start work around growing and developing that. So sponsorship is one where you really want to be sound in what you know as fact. Sponsorship is not, let me get out here and test the waters. Let me get out here and let me wing it and see how it goes. Oh, please don't do that. No. Don't wing it. Be prepared, be above board, plan, run your ideas and things by your council, whatever your council of people is, your family, maybe not family. Well, it can be family if you're trying to test run something. Family, your friends, your mentors, your colleagues, your manager. Hey, I just want to run this by you real quick. What do you get from this? What is it? Is it giving what I want it to give? Accept the feedback. If they're like, I'm not quite sure what you were trying to land here. Like, I kind of got the gist, but you sort of lost me here. Take that feedback, take it back to the drawing board, and then run it back through your council, whoever your council is. Because when you finally get sponsorship, again, it goes back to, it's not what people say when you are in the room. It's what people say when you are not in the room. And you never want your sponsor to be like, yep, I gave Akimi a try. Like, she really has potential, but she's not there yet. And that is what's going to stick. Potential, people are going to hear, yeah, potential, but what's going to stick is she's not there yet. Well, we won't need to consider her. We can't consider her for these things just yet.
Yeah.
Right? Doesn't mean you won't get another opportunity. What I'm saying is just be very intentional and make sure you're ready before you ask for sponsorship.
Yeah. I just have two thoughts for this.
Okay.
Because I have been given amazing opportunities from mentors and sponsors.
Yes.
Amazing opportunities.
Likewise.
And I will strongly say be ready to grow and be ready to be pushed. Those are just two things. Like, just be ready. And then two, I will say gratitude. Just simply gratitude, because the majority of my mentors and sponsors, because I've had a coach that was not free, but the majority of mentors and sponsors are providing their time, expertise, information for free. And they are more than willing to do that. They love doing it. But just as Akimi was saying, a sponsor should provide feedback. That person that opened the door would love a thank you for like, this went great, or yes. I don't know if it went well. Maybe we should talk about it. Like that, just that gratitude of their time, dropping that note, saying thank you, being very appreciative, being prepared and ready for the time that they are going to spend with you. There's just ways to show gratitude, and just like flattery goes a long way, gratitude goes a long way. If I get something back from someone and they were like, thank you so much, it was great, this is what came out of it, I'm like, yay. Like, warm feeling, great, all right, good.
Keep that person on the list.
Yes.
We'll keep them on the list to do something else next time.
Versus if I don't hear anything back, I just think it's, these relationships go both ways.
Communication goes both ways.
Being able to just have that communication back and forth is really important. But I would end on just gratitude, because there are people that can put you in places that it would take you 10, 15 years to get to on your own. And that in and of itself, especially for women, is huge.
I liked all three of the things that you said. You said, be ready to grow, be ready to show, and always show gratitude. Yeah. Mentors help shape how we grow. Sponsors help open doors that allow that growth to be seen. Both relationships are powerful, and as leaders, we have the opportunity to benefit from them and to become them for others. So I would say the takeaway for me for this conversation is a thought prompt. How might our listeners, so you all, support or encourage someone else's growth this year?
Yeah.
This requires you to take stock of where you are in people's lives. If you see an opportunity, share an opportunity. If you feel the person would be successful. If you see an opportunity and you think the person has the potential to be successful, share that as well. Hey, I know you are very interested in this. There are these opportunities that are popping up all the time to do that. Whenever you're ready to actually go out there and do it, please let me know. Right? And it could be anything. If you want to lead a meeting, if you want to do a PowerPoint, if you want to do a community event, if you want to, there's so many opportunities within our organization. And I know there are a trillion outside for the different things that the heartbeats of our organization are interested in. So team, just think about how you can not only elevate yourself through your journey, but how can you help pull others forward with theirs as well. I think that's where I'll end it today, Joy.
I think that sounds good.
All right. Well, thank you so much for joining our third episode, and we look forward to seeing you at the fourth.
Yes. The fourth is going to have a whole new format.
New format. No pressure there. We're going to have a new format. It's going to be an interactive sort of segmented format. So we would love, I will say that if you have questions, questions about leadership or questions about any of the things that we have discussed, please start sending us emails so that we can start sort of having a Q&A segment, because we want to make sure that the things that we are discussing are relevant to our listeners and our watchers, be it that you're watching the videos or you're listening to them. We want to make sure that we are touching on topics that are of interest to you. So we're looking forward to hearing from our audience. Anything, Rachel?
I think just being able to have it be a little bit more interactive. I would just say be very specific. Like,
yes, very specific.
Ask us anything, and
we will keep you anonymous unless you don't want to be anonymous. But we'll keep you anonymous, so that way you can speak freely, respectfully, but freely.
Yeah, and we look forward to continuing.
All right. Until next time, team.
Bye.
Bye.